Hi, my name is Eric Nathan. I'm the composer in residence of the New England Philharmonic, and I'm here with Eugene Astapov, who is one of the finalists from the New England Phil's uh, Call for Scores, our annual composition competition. So welcome, Eugene.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And so in this series, we talk with composers and hear a little bit more about the ideas and the process behind creating the works. And so on our social media, we'll share Eugene's composition and his website, and you can take a listen and then also hear what Eugene has to say about it here. And so we're going to talk a little bit about your piece Burial Rites, which is for orchestra, and it's a really evocative and there's some real dark qualities to the piece too, and very rich harmony. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this piece, Burial Rites.
Yeah, of course. Burial Rites is a work from 2023. It's from 2 years ago. However, it took me a while to compose that work because it was a tribute, a composition written in memory of a student of mine who passed away tragically at the age of 17. It was a young child who I had the privilege of teaching music, piano specifically, for many years, for 7 years, since he was very young. And during the 7 years that I knew him, he was diagnosed with what's known as Ewing sarcoma. It's a very rare type of cancer, and a cancer that occurs in children only. And the name of my student was Marcus Gibbons, and I grew very close to Marcus, and he was very gifted. I loved sharing my musical knowledge with him, and I loved teaching him, and I was close to his family. And after he passed away in 2020, it only made sense for me to um, express my feelings and pay tribute to him, and write this emotional, dark work. In some ways dark, but in some ways also celebratory, to celebrate his life. And it was a process that took several years to compose, eventually commissioned by Esprit Orchestra. That's an orchestra here in Toronto, much like New England Phil, an orchestra that specializes in the presentation of contemporary music. It's been around for 40 years, almost 40 years now. And I was the composer in residence with them at that point, and they commissioned and premiered this work in 2023.
Well, yeah, it's great to hear about for our audiences to hear about the inspiration behind it. I was wondering if you might talk us through how some of those memories translated into the music that we hear. So at the beginning of the piece, there are these big tall chords that are kind of being built up. And I know in the program note you say the piece is 17 minutes long and each minute is related to 1 year of
Yeah.
Marcus's life. And I'm wondering if there are specific memories that found their way into the music, literally text painting wise, or is it
Of course.
emotional?
And the work is a mosaic of sorts. It's almost a kaleidoscope of memories. It is a journey of memories, I would say, in terms of my relationship with Marcus, my relationship with his family, but also it is a journey of his own. There are sections in the piece that signal the difficult fight, battle with this disease. But there's also sections in the piece which reflect upon my own feelings. Very difficult, heavy feelings, which I find often difficult to express verbally and talk about. But as a composer, I'm quite privileged to be able to express certain emotions, certain feelings musically. And other parts of the piece also celebrate Marcus's life. For example, the piece does not end on a heavy note, or it doesn't whizzle away. It actually resolves in somewhat a celebratory fashion, to celebrate his life, to celebrate his legacy, and to show how brave of a young person he was. And this is what I mean when I say that the piece is a kaleidoscope of pieces, of emotions, elements, and memories that are associated with Marcus.
Yeah, I was wondering, given your residency with the orchestra, how your thinking about composing for orchestra has evolved over years, and how maybe in part of this piece or others, and how you can use that big canvas to say things.
Yeah, definitely. My thinking composing, in terms of composing for orchestra, has evolved over the years. Having worked with many orchestras here in Canada, I've had the opportunity to develop the language, but my language. But in terms of working with this particular orchestra, Esprit, I've had a very long-standing relationship with them, which actually culminated in the creation of Burial Rites. And it was the longest and the largest composition I composed for them. In fact, it was the sixth commission for this orchestra over the years, over the 15-year-long relationship with this orchestra. And the musicians in the orchestra specialize in playing contemporary music, since the mandate of this ensemble is to perform music by mostly living composers. And the musicians particularly are interested in collaborating with the composer and helping the composer achieve their idea to the fullest extent. And I've got to know many musicians. There is a number of solo sections in the piece which display certain members of the orchestra whose playing I know quite well. For example, there's a very lengthy English horn solo. Not only was it written for the specific member of the orchestra, but also it's a very special instrument. Many composers have in the past have been drawn to the timbral quality of the instrument to express emotional weight of some sorts. And I have also certainly, because of the size of the orchestra, I had the chance to utilize every section to its full capacity. The woodwind section, the brass section. As contemporary composers, we're not always given the opportunity to write for a giant percussion section or a full complement of brass instruments. In this case, I had every asset of the orchestra at my disposal, and I was able to use it in a way to show the orchestra's capabilities, show every individual member's capabilities, and also to try my own craft in writing the large piece that really shows my ability to use different instruments and different sections of the ensemble to its full extent.
Well, it's wonderful to be able to build a relationship over that amount of time and really get to know the players and them to get to know your music. And so something that emerges out of it, like this piece, is really enriched by that connection and understanding of each other. I wonder if you tell our audience a little bit about what you're working on now, or what's a project that you're excited about coming up.
Well, I actually just finished writing a very long work for solo piano. And this work was just premiered a few weeks ago by a wonderful pianist, Janie Parsons, who is the head of the piano department at the University of Calgary. And I've had a very long-standing relationship with her because she's also one of the founding directors of the ensemble Latitude 49, who operate out of Canada and the United States. And now this was a 25-minute commission for solo piano. And the piece actually is also quite an emotional exploration, with my encounters with aging and terminal disease, and I know that there is a theme going on here with burial rites and this particular work, but somehow at this point of my life, I was faced with these very heavy topics, which I felt the need to talk about. And the other topic being the war in Ukraine. I'm a Ukrainian Canadian composer, a subject that has affected me very deeply. And so for a few years, I was kind of boiling in this emotional space, which I have now am trying to put aside with this final project, the piano work. They're called fantasy pieces. There are four of them. And I, as a pianist, it was quite a challenge to write something fresh, something new, and reinvent the piano in one way or another. And with this work, it took almost over a year to write for me, and I'm finally happy to be done with a piece that long and take a break from the for now. And I've been concentrated on my teaching at three universities. The end of the term has come now, and finally trying to relax a little bit.
That's always something we don't often talk about enough is the need to relax too as composers.
Yeah.
But it's great to hear about the new piece and hope to hear it sometime.
The recording is actually now available on YouTube of the whole premiere.
Oh, great. Well, hopefully we can include a link to that as well. Well, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us about your work, and hope our audiences can check out these works in the links below. And good luck with the end of the term.
Thank you very much, Eric, and it's a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for having me.